Hello, my friends. Wrath is back again in the verse. Trading Tuesday, my friends. Hello and welcome. Let me know if audio is okay. If you can hear me okay, type it in the chat. If something is wrong when we look at the levels, it should be fine. We are gearing up here just for the sake of self-protection, self-defense, of course, because while we do trading, we usually don't need guns. So what we want to show you here, we are in Star Citizen Alpha 4.6, probably the fourth patch within the 4.6 version. When we click on, right click on, let's say a triple click, it looks like this. There had been a patch release where we could select equip all. That doesn't work. And you may have heard that a lot of people, or some people, had been in Evocati tech preview like we had been. And the inventory is sold as a new feature. And we checked that out. And we can tell you, yeah, that is not a, it is a promise. We can tell you, they did not improve. Basic function that is missing in the inventory system of Star Citizen will remain missing after they launched the new inventory system that will come out probably soon. March or May, we do not know. We have March right now. Yeah, and the problem is that CIG does not care. Yeah, that is an assumption. That is a claim. That is something that we... what is the word of it? Oh, yeah. Need to go back. What is the word of... sorry, need to translate a little quick. Yeah, we accuse... Yeah, that is the word. We accuse CIG of not care much about Star Citizen as a product, yeah. Because they say Star Citizen is an online service. And the matter of fact that we are walking around in this virtual space hangar at Arbitrary Space Station proves that that online service is up and running. So as long as we spend time, energy, focus and whatnot into that realm we are moving in, everything is fine. What do you complain about? We do not complain about, we just talk and say how things are. And some people do not like what we talk because it is how it is, yeah. It's not because we want to, it's not because we... What is the right word? It is just a matter of fact. Everybody can prove. Everybody can verify themselves. No need to point fingers at us, but also not finger pointing to CIG. And if you do not need to be a lie detector, but if you have a still working gut feeling, we would say, if you have a working gut feeling, you may have still available or regained the ability to sense lies. Lies you can detect, and this is how we do. If something is in ratio, in rational, is not possible. If you say something and argue, it is because of that, and the reason you bring as an argument why something is or is not doesn't make sense, that basically tells us you are just lying. And yeah, sometimes we point that out when people lying to us. And of course, if somebody's lying to us directly into the face and we point that out, that you just lied to us, and you do not like that. I mean, why should you? Why should you like that when we expose a lie that immediately? Wouldn't make sense, right? And the same goes for Christ robbers. We haven't watched the video completely, but we watched some. And we watched other people pointing specific moments out of that interview where Christ robbers, the title was, he addresses critiques. So now you see here the animation. I mean, it's an incredible detail. See that? It's an incredible detail. And it's visually at the very same time as you hear the audio cue. That is what makes or breaks Star Citizen. Alright, so what we do here, every time when we need to claim a new ship, we open those doors so that we have a faster walk in and out of the ship. We can lock the doors through the engineering terminal, what we just did. We have the Atlas. We will go down to Ravine, have a check out what's going on down there. We have a low pop. Low pop nowadays means how many people? 190 out of 700, 190 in the shard, 33 on the server. You may have heard that they want to increase shard seats up to 10,000. Yes, of course you can do, if technology allows it, but we already have, since they increased up to, what was the before, 300? When they increased up to 300, we had these so-called hangar queues, and that was a mess, yeah. And they made fun about, this is a waiting simulator. And exactly that matter of fact is basically the proof that CIG actually doesn't really care about the product if Star Citizen as a product would be a video game. But it's not. It's not a video game by definition. We always said that and we always will. It is an online service. Yeah, and that it is. And that's why you do not buy anything when you pledge for a beautiful ship like this one. No, it is called pledge because this Star Citizen project is still, yeah, after 13 years, it's still considered to be a crowdfunding project. And yes, we spent money way too much on this project, and we ask ourselves, when it is a crowdfunding project, what is the project? Because Star Citizen as an online service is already here. So what is the project? And we all know Star Citizen is no video game, never will be, is not designed as. And people talk like, but I mean, you can go to the pledge store and say purchase. And at the very end, when you actually want to purchase, they say a purchase is not a buy, or a pledge is not a buy. They say, yeah, because it's not. You do not buy anything. And the only one reason why CIG ever would go live is only for the legal fiction, in order to justify another financial model. Because, I mean, it's standing in the room. They need to change the financial model at some point of time, Because even if you would endless increase the amount of ships they can sell, even if they reuse assets out of it, I mean, you can do that. I would do that, certainly. At some point it's done. Yeah, there are too many ships, because those ships you need to maintain, and not we as a player. No, CIG as the developing house of what we call Star Citizen. So the question is, why don't we have shields on? Yeah, 33 people here on this server. There is absolutely no ship. We had seen absolutely no ship, not even abandoned ones, which is quite odd. But we're gonna take it, because what else is left, right? Nothing. So what we do here is the Atlas should have somewhat of less than 180 rotation angle. So this is not, oops, from here to here is not 180. It's less than 180. That is something that you want to achieve. Yeah, performance miserable. They say, yeah, that is something else, a lie. We would say it is a lie. They say we have 29 frames, which is almost double the amount of frame rates 1.5 years ago. Back in 324, we had frame rates somewhere between 15 and 20 frames with the exact same computer as we have right now. Just other Microsoft software version and driver versions. But that 20 frames back then felt smoother than 28 frames now. Yeah, that is subjectively. If you want to have some sort of a proof or evidence, then it becomes a little bit more challenging. Oh, look, a new one. Can we mount that? Can we mount it here? Come on. Yeah, it's interesting. Looks like a clear view. Maybe we shouldn't leave the door open. This is Pyro after all. Almost nobody comes here. We can buy more cobalt. 18.9. What basically means it is 19. We can't recall how much SUs or how much alpha UC we get at cornered view, but it's probably not that much. And when we look at financial, 1 billion player trading. Yeah, if you want to make money fast in the verse, player trading would be the thing. You need to grind for some admired objects like armor, weapons, whatnot. Or these, let's say these org activities like Yomandi or Align and Mine and all that. All that stuff you can gain out of that. That gives you money. Yeah. This is the way to go. Sometimes we need to find the rhythm. Ooh. And from here we also have somewhat of a view outside of the ship, so if there would be a player somewhere running around, we would see him. Wouldn't bring much because we do not have that much ammo, and we have a weak gun when it comes to damage. It's getting dark. Need to hurry. Yeah, not sure if you see this. That is 30 frames. At least that is what they claim. Nah. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't really work for whatever reason. But this is the way to go. If you wanna track the beam boxes fast, try to make this rotation angle just that small amount. Yeah, and imagine you would be a crew of two. Somebody would be inside the ship and placing the boxes, while the other one is running down to the elevator and retrieve more boxes. It would be even super efficient. If we would go on a high pop shard, let's say, and we would do this some sort of commodity trading, then we would stack up the crew to 4. One is either in the pilot seat or remote turrets. One is doing the boxes. One is doing the elevator, and the third would be in the other turret for self-defense, or even in a separate ship. To basically patrol around this location, Buena Arena in this case, to let us know early enough there will be an attacker. Because even if we had someone who would do this eagle eye stuff, means make sure to have an eye on the sky, and he will suck at or she will suck at space combating, especially here in atmosphere, then at least they can let us know early enough there will be an attack or even more, so that we can lower the elevator with the remaining boxes, closing the ship so that even if they ping, the ping doesn't show any commodity boxes. Because like everything else, yeah, sometimes it's not even worth to pirate. And somebody actually did it once. We filled up, yeah, at least we filled up the whole ship with diamonds. And diamonds is basically for us like pocket money. So we didn't really care. And yeah, I mean, pirates, yeah, pirates for us, pirates are, let's say, a necessary evil to keep us alerted, sharp-minded, open-eyed, and whatnot. Other than the grievers are poor creatures. They have their life is so miserable that they need to launch a video game and drag everybody else down to their level just to feel miserable as well. Yeah, 26 frames, it doesn't feel like, it feels like 18 frames back in the day. Still nobody here. It's kind of interesting because we could buy Backslide here. And Backslide would be a commodity. I mean, it's the cheapest place. Buena Ravine is the cheapest place for Backslide. And a lot of people still doing this AA, Alliance 8 stuff. And what we would do is just come over here. Just come over here. And buy Backslide instead of going mining. Yes, of course. Would be probably not be the intention CIG had in mind. But yet, at least we can buy all those commodities they want for the contract, for this 8 Alliance 8 event. And to be quite fair here, yeah, we did that as well. We bought the pressured ice and delivered to New Babbage. In total, we collected somewhat of 10,000 SCUs. And then we, what a crew. And it is absolutely affordable. There had been once an event think it was supply or die event, where we accidentally stumbled over the ability to buy corundum and copper for cheap. Yeah, and so we did, of course, but we didn't have enough funding. So that buying stopped at one point of time, which was a little bit unfortunate, because at the end, yeah, that was some sort of an economic test. At the end, the demand was so high that they increased the price at the commodity terminal, which would make sense. Yeah, in a working economic, it would make sense. This is not the case right now with Alliance 8. The price is in the acceptable range of out of stock and max inventory. So either they didn't learn anything about that, or they just don't care. And we accuse CIG of not caring. Yeah, and at the end, the demand, on the other hand, yeah, if you do commodity trading, you buy something at one place and you sell at some place. And when you have at the selling location out of stock, that means when you deliver max inventory, in 1 hour later, it will be out of stock. That means in the fiction, something is there that reduces the amount of stock. Yeah, when we come and stack up the inventory maximum, and 1 hour later the material is gone, something is taken away that material. There supposed to be a use of that particular material we just delivered and sold. Yeah, that is the law, the fiction. And that is something that they actually did back then, supply or die. Yeah, the cost of buying increased dramatically. And we mean not out of stock price, no, we mean increased dramatically. And that was kind of realistic. But it wasn't only on that side, it was on the other side as well, at the selling location. Usually you could sell copper for not even 1,000, but because nobody delivered copper to that particular locations, commodity trading locations, they became desperate as well of getting copper, so they paid even more for the copper as when outside of the event. That was an interesting observation. This is something what we would call a proper economic in a simulation environment like Star Citizen is. But nothing of that is left behind. Even the rework model of these economics, they didn't really rework the economics, they reworked the commodity trading. Means location, the amount of boxes, box configuration, and commodity type. That is something that they changed. But we cannot verify or confirm that there is a working economic implemented. And we do not think that CIG is stupid. No. Oh, maybe yes, they are. But they have some brilliant minds in their house. They just cannot use their potential. Is that an accusation as well? Waste of potential? Why should you have, or why do we have, and with we mean CIG, why does CIG have the urge to improve when money flows in with just some virtual spaceships that is more or less copy-pastes or copied assets, a little bit modified? I mean, you see the Apollo, you see the Hermes. Of course, role-wise, they're completely different ships. But functionally, chassis is the same. Yeah. Even the moth, we didn't see the moth up close, but it is basically the mold copy-pasted. It's basically the same functionality change, like they did for the Hermes. The only new ship in style and design and language and maybe even character would be the Clipper. Clipper is the only one. Clipper is the only one ship that has its own language, let us put it that way. Is that music a sign for somebody's approaching? Alright, so how many? There's not that much anymore. We thought we would have more. What is that in total? Three loads, complete loads. One to Lavsky, one to Carnot View, and today again Carnot View. One filled up ship. One filled up M2, this is the ship we have here. One filled up M2 would give us 2 batches of selling. Maybe even more, depending on how we count. Yeah, not even a complete full ship. Interesting. Come on, get up. Yeah, that lagginess is an effect on everything. But it isn't that bad. Yesterday we run. Yeah, We ran contested zone, a checkmate with less than 10 frames. Was no joy, but it is doable. Positive thing is the NPC take way more time to acknowledge you there. But once they acknowledge, they start shooting. And they don't move slow because of slow frame rate. No, they glitch, they jump, teleportation. And they don't hit worse because of that, but you do hit worse. Hey, yeah.
Hey there.
Yeah, hey. Got you. Snaggle sticks. Hit them boo. So what else do we have? 2,000 half, 1,500 diamonds. Yeah, see, somebody's doing Baxelite here. Makes also sense somehow. We have a check on diamond. Rat's Nest. Rat's Nest could be the place where you find diamonds for cheaper. And selling it Arc L5.
I'm not setting an alarm or planning anything. Just gonna let the day take me where it takes me.
Rotten refuel.
Feels like I've been going non-stop recently and it's starting to wear on me.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, Arc L5, Hurl 1. 4 diamonds. And where is the half? Cruel 4, Mick L5. L4, new Babbage. Yeah, only Cruel 4, Mick L5. But when we can buy 1,050 ASUS of half at one point, can we also sell 1,050 half at one point? We do not know. Somehow a little bit too quiet. 179 people in the shard. I mean, we would expect that it is that kinda quiet when we are below 100. But no idea what the other people doing. When we do what we do best, moving boxes from A to B. Yeah, that is probably the one good thing about the engineering terminal, for that matter. that we can lock doors open and run fast.
Engines on. Launch. Shields off. Landing gear up.
Don't get me wrong, I mean, it looks beautiful. Chemtrails. Okie dokie. Carnot view. No, we have.
Quantum travel complete.
Ah, we should maybe some auto readjust the buttons when we toggle left and right, that it goes automatically back to center. Would make more sense. Yeah, that YouTube videos that we had running few streams ago, the channel is now empty, unfortunately. Maybe some sort of a copyright issue.
Shields on. Landing gear down. Engines off.
Here again, nobody's here. No ships. Not even abandoned ones. Is that a clean new server? Is that the thing? Did they implement some cleanup services? That would be kind of new. Yeah, repetitive is kinda meditative. That is the reason why we do it. Yeah, while doing that kind of stuff, we can think that review passing the day. Yeah, the loot goblin. As you can see. But the moment we have been waiting for. We're gonna sell this cobalt, at least some of them. $600, that would be almost, yeah, 21.8. That is a 2k profit per SU. It's not that much. We usually did this cobalt stuff to keep us liquid. And with that change of commodity trading we had seen in Evocati test run, we won't do commodity trading anymore if they really do that implementation of selling every single one box hand by hand. Here again we need to move the Atlas to the other side. Oh fucking fuck. Oh. This armor seems to be quite good. Despite the minus temperature. Being close to ramp. Yeah, this music doesn't really fit to that scenery here somehow. Come on. So we bring these boxes up to obituary. Then that will gonna take a while. And then afterwards we're thinking about going to bed. Bedtime.
Landing gear up.
$51 gigamiles. we can check is, can we store the ship? Of course we will unload first, but we will do a test here. The previous couple of times we couldn't. Seems to be a new feature. Properly landed, hangars closing. Way faster. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Shit. Doesn't need to be. Physics code is great. See, we cannot store the ship. Useless. Okay, that's it for now. All for today. We'll have a check how many. What was that? Diamond Lemonite and Technus Root. Eat them. 500 SUs of Eton. Oh, only 70 of Lemonite. Yep. Technus Root. 170. What else do we have? Pitambu. Nope. That would mean Shepherd's Rest would be the next. But not today. This was Trading Tuesday. At the beginning of March. Full moon is tonight. Enjoy and see ya next time. Next Tuesday when it calls Trading Tuesday. Adios. Thanks for watching. See you next time.